I don't know if all of you heard me this morning in the announcement, but that sheet that is in your locker, that bubblegum card application sheet, I would certainly appreciate it if you would fill that out tonight sometime or first thing in the morning and put it on the window of the equipment room. Whatever you say, whatever you write on that sheet about yourself is going to go on your bubblegum card, the back of your bubblegum card picture. So think it through and put down whatever you want to put down. Your bubblegum card pictures will be taken Tuesday morning, plus the team picture that you get, plus your 30-second audio remarks that you make on the audio. So you want to think that out thoroughly. Tuesday morning, when you rotate among your fundamentals, well, that's when you're going to get your bubblegum card pictures taken. Now, tomorrow's schedule, for those who haven't heard about it already, San Antonio will play Bakersfield in Holman Stadium. Great Falls will play Albuquerque on Field 1. Now, Vero Beach has the optional day off, and I can't think that it didn't come at the right time, as they had about 5 guys go down today with injuries. I would like to report, and you hate to see this, Lou Ellen, you in charge of that table? You hate to say anything, hate to see anything like this happen, but we just got word that Pete Perrone, who was injured on the last play of the game today, has a fractured ankle, and he will have surgery tomorrow afternoon. This is the first time that has happened here in 6 camps, and you really hate to see those things. But along with that, today Dr. Howard Kaplan found out that he fractured a little finger, and where's Howard? Are you leaving tomorrow, Howard?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure yet. Well, if you do, good luck, and we hope to see you back here as soon as you get that.
He's going to hang around tomorrow.
Well, we had just to name a few. Jay Goldinger went down, got hit by a pitch. Vernon Rosenthal got hit in the arm and in the mouth. Pete Perrone had the ankle injury, and Alan Block is still at the hospital getting a X-ray on his hand. And these all came from the same club. The second day, for some reason or other, always seems to be the toughest. And this is when we seem to have the injuries.
Hey. Yeah.
Oh, they're still not.
Tell them who that is.
After last night's discussion up here, it's amazing the number of cards that have started to come in on Stu Miller. There are three of his Topps bubblegum cards that they presented. So if any of you really, if you didn't believe Harmon and Duke and some of the others who faced him, you could come up here and check these cards out and see what his record had been. I want to say about today's games, what we're doing tonight is something a little different. I'm going to call the managers of each team to come up here and present their Potato Head Award trophies tonight. But I'd like to say something a little bit about the games. I thought that both games were played much better than they were the day before. I mean, you're starting to not see as many errors. You're starting to see guys hit the ball a little better, and you wait and see. By the end of the week, you guys are going to be in tip-top shape if you're healthy. Now today, even though the games were well played today, there was controversy out there. And I'll tell you, it's good to have controversy because that means that everybody is bearing down and everybody's trying to win the games. They're trying to do their best. And I was very proud of our commissioners, Duke and Harmon. They handled things well today, and we'll get everything straightened out. You get controversy, and that's something that we just hope that we can handle all the time. All right. As I said, the Potato Head Awards are going to be handed out by the managers, and the first game in the stadium that I want to call Albuquerque, and here again, Albuquerque was down at one time when I was over there, 11-3 to Vero Beach. But they did come back to win the game 16-15. I'll tell you what, Vero Beach had a chance to win that game, and I thought, happened to be over there on a key play when the bases were loaded, and there was a ball hit back to the pitcher, and a double play to the plate, and they had plenty of time, and they threw the ball away at first base, and that really was a key play. It would have shut down Albuquerque right there. But I'd like to call up, first of all, the losing manager and have him remark Frank Robinson.
Yeah, it seems like it. All I can say is one thing. I was very, very proud of the Vero Beach team today. We looked very pathetic yesterday. I didn't want to claim them, but I tell you, we showed a lot of heart. We came back. We played very well today. We had a couple of outstanding defensive plays in the field. I thought we were squeezed by the umpire a little bit today. He was a homer. He didn't like the guys in the white uniforms. But the other thing is also, I want to say, the Vero Beach team, you're off tomorrow. Do whatever you want to do. Go play golf, heal, get well, whatever. Yes. Be checked out of the hospital. Hope I can feel 9 on Tuesday. But if you want to come out and work out, naturally, we'll have something from the right guy. We'll have something for you to do out there if you want to come out. Don't come out, guys. We did. We showed a lot of heart today. I mean that sincerely, and I was very proud of the team. We just lost to the better team today, but we'll be back on Wednesday. It was very difficult. We didn't get a lot of hits, but we put our hits to use, timely hits. And it was a little tough, really, to pick the most valuable player off the team because we did have some key hits by 2 or 3 people. But the one person I thought that really stretched us out there and drove in 3 runs with a big triple was Chris Malberg. Okay, there you go, guys.
Okay, thank you. Here, Chris. Okay, and now for the winning team, I'd like to call up the undefeated manager, Robin Roberts.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
Poor baby, right, Spawny? Where's Spawny?
I'm here.
All right. Hey, we were good again today. I was sorry about the way the game ended with the gentleman breaking his ankle. But our game, we were behind 11-3. And Pee Wee Reese, after all those years, he told our boys, don't swing. We got to go with the walks. And you know what? It was a shrewd move. That's why the Dodgers were in there so much, you know. We had one gentleman, when we were drafting our #1 draft choice, was a shortstop, and Pee Wee was instrumental in doing that also. He's done a lot of work for me down here. And when we went out for our first workout, Pee Wee says our #1 draft choice has a pulled groin. But he really rose to the occasion today. He hit a home run, a shot, I mean a good one. And he made the final pickoff play. A catcher helped him by throwing the ball nicely. And Richard Stansberry is our potato head guy. But we are humble. Aren't we humble? We're humble. We are humble. We're humble.
In the second game, Great Falls, their first game out, defeated San Antonio in a pitcher's duel 18-13. And I would like to call up first the losing manager, Hoyt Wilhelm.
Well, our team is rounding into shape here, I think. Everything's going to be all right. We're, I guess, tied for 4th place right now. 0-2, which is not too bad. No, if we don't get it together this camp, certainly another camp or two will do it. But anyway, it was tough to pick a guy today because there was 2 or 3 guys on our team, and our catcher especially, I really take my hat off to him. But the guy that won the Potato Head Award is our shortstop, Mike Koppel. He had 3 for 4. He had a single, double, and a 3-run homer. Mike?
Here, Ernie. And now for the quiet ones, the manager of the Great Falls Club, Warren Spahn. Is that for me? That's for you. Thank you.
Kind of looks like me, doesn't it? I never saw an uglier group in my life. But let me tell you something, I have enjoyed this camp. I was here last year, and we were almost there, but I think I got a bunch of guys this year that are super, and we played an outstanding game today, and we beat a pretty good ball club, by the way. And it was my super managing because Robin Roberts won so many championships in college that we felt like we had to be great today to beat him, and we did. And I had a young man by the name of Burns, and I got to tell you this, I promised, or I told everybody in secrecy that don't you mention this, but my first draft choice was a kid that I picked as my shortstop, and I saw him field, but I didn't see him hit. And he's got a dislocated shoulder, so he swings one-handed. So I think I know why I'm not a scout in baseball today. But he did a yeoman's job. He pitched 6 innings for me, and we won the ball game. But the guy that was the outstanding star for us is older than me. Believe me.
How old are you?
He had, huh?
83? Got him by 2 years.
Just be careful, I'm a senior citizen. I can fire all of you. But this young man got 2 base hits, drove in 4 runs, got a very key hit, drove in 3 runs with it. And I don't know what the hell his first name is, but his name is Sledgehammer. What a sledge! Sledge missed practice yesterday. We had a day off and he went golfing. And I told him he was fined $10,000 and he had to make restitution today, and he did. So I'm very proud to give this to you, Sledge.
Thanks, you. Thanks, man.
And tomorrow he's going to try to run the club.
Into the ground.
Here's the boxer. Thank you, buddy.
You want to see the balls I have?
Okay, for the, our topic for tonight is baseball can be fun. And we are going to have three outstanding Hall of Famers discuss this topic. And the first one I'd like to call up, he was just here, the winningest left-handed pitcher in Major League history, Warren Spahn.
Gosh, Guy, I was just up here.
That's right.
You know, this is normally Ernie Banks, and I love Campy and all the stories he tells, and I don't know why I'm here, but I did have fun. And I think probably my years in Milwaukee, when I roomed with Lou Burdette, and Lou was a piece of cake, believe me. I didn't know that baseball was so much fun until I roomed with Lou. And Lou was a spitball pitcher. He didn't want anybody to know that. And we had a philosophy in our room that anything you could do, I could do better. Now, hey, this was on and off the field. And Lou was about 8 years my junior. And I went to Lou one day and I said, I don't know whether you're furthering my career or shortening it. And we had Charlie Dressen, who was a great guy in the Dodger organization. He came over to our ball club. And his quote when he came to our club, we had won the pennant the year before, and Charlie says, now, the league is better this year, and you guys have to be better. And he said, if you'll just hold it for 7 innings, I'll think of something to win the ball game. And we hated him. And we had a team meeting, and we decided we were going to win in spite of that son of a gun. And he felt like Burdette and I were too old. There were going to be younger pitchers that came along that were going to pitch the ball game. And I, for one, fought Charlie Dressen forever that he wanted to give me 5 days rest, pitch once a week, and all this bit. And I remember Charlie came out to the mound one day, and I was in a situation where I had a man on first base. I think I was a runner or so ahead. And this is the guy that, you know, came out of the Dodger blue, the great master from the sky. And he came out and he says, don't let this guy hit a home run. It hadn't entered my mind. And Charlie started going toward the bench, and I said, hey, Charlie, come here. And I said, since you told me what I shouldn't do, now tell me what I should throw to keep him from hitting that damn home run. And Charlie says, keep the ball low and I'll think of something. And just before Charlie got fired, oh, I got to tell you this too. Charlie was suspicious of Lou and I, so he told the clubhouse guy, put 5 beers in the cooler. And the reason for that was that we were going to have 2 apiece, and he wanted us to fight over the 5th one. And we were playing in Philadelphia, and Lou and I always missed the bus. We took a cab back to the hotel, and we were in a little tavern across the street from the hotel. And Charlie came in, and he always was a wine sipper, so we invited Charlie to have a wine with us. And he said, you know, you 2 son of a bucks, you're all right. He said, anytime you want the ball, it's yours. You can pitch. he got fired the next day. But all the great people here in the room, we had some stupendous times together. I hated most of them. We were chasing the Dodger blue forever, and I think just a few times we did manage to win the pennant. And I had a great opportunity to play in the World Series, but none of them is a greater thrill than being with you guys. And the Great Falls Ball Club better get their damn rest today, because we're 1-0, we're after Robin Roberts. And, you know, if you win 4, you're an automatic winner. And I'll guarantee you that the fun in baseball is nothing more than winning. So look out, guys, we're after you. Thank you.
Next is a man who was not only a great hitter, but he was a good fielder. And for over 19 years, he entertained the people in Chicago. Is Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks.
Thank you, Guy, for the fine introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a real joy to be with all of you tonight. And let me ask you one question, maybe two. Can I ask you two questions? Come on, let's get serious. Baseball is a serious business. Can I ask you just one question? Can anyone tell me why baseball is the most unique game in the world? Let me repeat that.
No time clock.
No time clock, that's right. Barbara, does anyone tell me why baseball is the most unique game in the world?
Savage Field.
That's Brooklyn.
That makes it unique.
That makes it unique. It's Evans Field. You said, what did you say?
You don't control the ball offensively.
You don't control the ball offensively. There's no time clock.
No regulation.
Don't use the brain. Let's go.
Round bat squarely.
And that's the most difficult thing to do is hit a baseball. Round ball with a round bat. That makes it unique. You can't play in the rain. That makes it different than any other sport. Come on, let's go.
You can't play at night in Chicago.
You play. Wrigley Field.
Ernie,
Yes.
1 out of 3 and you're great.
You do what now?
You hit 1 out of 3 and you're great.
That's right. That's 333. That's different than any other sport. It's what now? Still something you can be a hero. That makes it unique. Well, let me tell you why baseball is the most unique game in the world and why all of us are really blessed to be able to play this game and touch the lives of other people. Are you ready? Ready. Are you ready? Ready. Are you ready, Roxanne? Okay. Baseball is unique because it ameliorates the classic polarization between the self-motivated individual and the collective ideology.
Repeat that, please.
Are you ready? One more time, Harry. One more time. Baseball is unique because it ameliorates the classic polarization between the self-motivated individual and the collective ideology. And what I mean by that, all right, let me tell you. Let me break it down one more time. What I mean by that is that when you at bat in baseball, you have to be a self-motivated individual. You become one person against 9 people in the field. It's 1 against 9. And when you get in the batter's box, no one can help you hit the ball. You have to do that. But when you go in the field, you become 9 against 1. So it's the only sport in the world where you can be a self-motivated individual and still be part of a team. Isn't that great? It's the only sport in the world where you can be a self-motivated individual and still be part of a team. Now, many countries around the world are trying to learn how to play baseball because they all do things the same way. But, don't say that, but in our game, baseball, we have an opportunity to do our own thing, but still be part of the group. So that's unique, different, and very special, and all of us are very blessed to be a part of this marvelous game of baseball. So thank you very much. You're very good. But anyway, let me just say some of the good things. Let me just say this here.
You spell Millie, Rick.
There's one other question now. Does any one of you know why 50 million people came to see baseball games last year in the United States?
Board.
That's right.
National sport.
It's a national sport where people go to see a baseball game.
That's dollar value.
It's what now?
That's dollar value.
Why do you think 5,000 people are going to come here on Wednesday to see us play? Money? No. No. Never. Never. Why does 50 million people come to see baseball in America? What? We love it, yes. People really love coming out. Yeah. Vicariously, they live their lives through people that's on the field. That's true. But really, why people come to see Major League Baseball or baseball games throughout the world is to study the quantitative method of optimum decision making under conditions of uncertainty.
Who gave you this speech? What is
Did you all get that? People come to see baseball games to study the quantitative method of optimum decision making on the conditions of uncertainty. That's why they come in Wednesday to see us play. And what I mean by that is when we play a game, nobody knows what's going to happen. The manager, Warren Spahn, Robin Roberts, Frankie Robinson, Lou Brock, we have no guidelines or data to use to put players in or make decisions. All the decisions are made in baseball by feel. There's no guidelines. It just put the guy in, take him out, the pitcher going to throw a curve or slider. Decision making, uncertainty. That's what makes baseball so wonderful, because everything is uncertain about the game, the decision making process. So people come out to do that. They can sit in the stands and second guess managers and second guess decisions. If I had this, he should have done that, or why did he do this, or why did he do that, or why did he put this guy in, or why did he call that pitch? Decision-making process would help make us better people, because we use our brains. We can make decisions. And I'm sure all of you have your own ideas about the games we played so far. We should have did this, we should have did that. Decisions, and that's a good process. And I'm happy to be with you, Jay, because we have a chance to make decisions. And that's freedom. And I love that, don't you, Warren? When to swing, when not to swing. All that's decision making, so it's great. I really love it. But most of all, I've enjoyed my 35 years in baseball. It's a marvelous life. It's been an awful lot of fun. Met a lot of interesting people. And I think the most important part of it is baseball is really just love. When you really add up all the stuff. Most people talk about the travel, the people, the games, the World Series, the playoffs, but when it really boils down to it is love. And I'm just so happy to be here with all of you and all of my contemporaries who played with and against, and to see them and to know they're doing well, and to see all of you and to share our lives together. I mean, that's, to me, is baseball. It's real love. And to see Roy and to talk to him and the kid with him and the kid with Frank and Robin Ramos, and to share some of the memories we had as players, it's awfully nice. And to see all of you and to have an opportunity to meet you again along the way. I've seen Jay in Los Angeles. I've seen many of you other places, and it's just friendship and love. And I think that's what we all do this for. It's for love. And baseball happens to be the event that, yes. But overall, I mean, our camp, listen to this here, and I'll close. Our camp, I mean, basically is love. We'll see each other again. We'll share memories together again. We will do things together again. We will have an opportunity to help each other again. Someday, I might be sick, or Robin might be sick, or Pee Wee might be sick, and some of you will come along and help us in the same way with us. We'll help each other, and that's what baseball has allowed us to do, is to share our lives together and to love each other, get to know each other for a while, and we will meet again, and that's one of the things that I enjoy about the game. I've had an opportunity to meet an awful lot of people in it, and my main goal now in life is to build friendship, and that's the key thing. And I'm just so happy to be with Ward Wilhelm. He's a friend. So thank you very much for coming. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. And the third person that we're calling up there, and I said this the first day, was baseball's greatest catcher, the National League most valuable player in 1951, 1953, and 1955, Roy Campanella.
Ernie can bring them words. You know, we were playing the Cubs one day. Whoever was pitching for the Cubs knocked one of us down. Ernie come to bat. Newcomb was pitching for the Dodgers. I said, Ernie, look out, because buddy, he's going to knock you down. And he was. And when we were playing, you didn't get thrown out the game for throwing at somebody. And we didn't have those big helmets. They meant business. And we wasn't going after no 220 hitter. We were going after the best. And he did, boy. You know, Ernie used to bat, he used to twiddle his thumb. And I looked up at him and I said, Ernie, what are you doing with your thumb moving? I said, you better be ready to duck. And Newcomb could bring it. You know, Newcomb got put out of that ball game. They put Newcomb and Austin out of the ball game. Boy, Newcomb was hot. Don't throw it no Dodger when Newcomb was pitching. That was true. He would protect you. When Sponny was talking about his roommate, Burdette, we were playing Milwaukee one night in Milwaukee, and Burdette was pitching. Although he was speaking to Charlie Dressen as being their manager, well, he was our manager then. And you know, about the third inning or so, Dressen sends our bat boy out to the pitcher's mound with a bucket of water. Burdette threw so many spitballs. The umpire threw him out the game. Our bat boy, this is true. I guess Pee Wee remembers that. And this same Burdette, you know, I come to bat one night in Milwaukee. boy, he low bridged me, and I ducked. I got out the way. I fell down. And I didn't mind it. Just off, got up there again. Wow, another one. I said, hey, what's wrong? And I kind of figured, you know, he knocked me down again. I said, now this is enough. I went out to the mound after him. That's the only time in my career I ever went after a pitcher. Good thing I didn't catch it. I was mad that night. And I had my bat in my hand, too. But I did, after knocking me down 3 pitches in a row. But I had more fun catching. Mays would come to bat when we played the Giants. And see, we used to play in the Negro National League. I did. Mays was in the Negro American League with the Birmingham Black Barons. So he'd come to bat and I'd pick up a handful of dirt and I'd flip it up in his shoe. This is true. I was just having fun. So he turned around to the umpire and said, look, he's bothering me. I said, he's bothering you? What is he doing? He's just bothering me. Well, at that time, Leo was the manager of the Giants, and he was coaching third base. So Leo runs up to home plate and said, what's wrong, Willie? He said, he's bothering me. Willie's funny. And he has that high-pitched voice. And he said, he's bothering me. So what is he doing? He just bothered me. Well, anyhow, so much for that time. But I've always played with Willie. And Willie would get on first base and would love to run. He'd steal in a close ball game. A good base stealer. And we had a guy pitching for us by the name of Billy Lowe's. A real dandy. Good pitcher, but a real dandy. We called him Shaky. He was always shaking his hand. So I give him a sign to throw over to first base. So he said, okay. He winds up and throws a fastball straight through the middle of the plate and calls a strike. Willie didn't run. I called Tom and go to the mound. I said, Billy, I give you a sign to throw over to first base. He said, you did? Go back there and give it to me again. See if I get it this time. You wouldn't believe these things happen in the big league. This is true. Cincinnati, playing a night game in Cincinnati at Crosley Field. Now this is the old ballpark. It's dark. It was dark. And they couldn't see my finger signals. So dressing with another one of his bright ideas, said, wrap white tape around your fingers. I said, how the hell you expect me to throw? I never thought about that. So I come up with outside signs then, plus give finger signals. You know, I had more fun playing. Although I never thought I'd ever get in the big leagues. I played in the Negro League so long, and it started at the age of 15. I got my passport to prove how old I am, Pee-wee. Pee-wee always said, nobody ever played that long and to be as young as you are. Baseball has meant so much to me and has done so much for me. You know, I played the first game here. We flew in Dodgertown, 1948 from Santo Domingo. The first game ever played here. Over by the airport, Holman Stadium was built there. I think we were playing the Philadelphia Athletics. Is that right, Pee-wee?
I'll accept it.
Well, anyhow, there was a Cuban catcher catching for the Athletic, Fermin Guerra, a white Cuban. A white Cuban. The first game here. Well, Newcomb had pitched in Cuba all winter with this fella, Fermin Guerra, and they had words in Cuban. The first game here, you know, after that game, Newcomb caught up with this guy and popped him. He hit him. You know, Newcomb's a big man. Well, Newcomb and I have always been close. Now, there's nobody there but Jackie, Newcomb, myself, and Dan Bankhead. We're the only black fellas. The first time ever come to Vero Beach, to Dodgertown. So, okay, we had to come all the way over here and we changed clothes. So after dinner, we went to bed. Now, all four of us were in the same room. You know, about 2 o'clock in the morning, the sheriff comes by. So I said, now, what is this? He said, you fellas have to get dressed and come with me. We have to go over to Mr. Ricky's house. Now, Mr. Ricky lived around the corner someplace. So we asked him, well, what's wrong? Said the Ku Klux Klan was forming downtown. I said, Roomy, goddammit, you did it again. We just get into Lincoln, you could get it run out. So we went over to Mr. Ricky's house with the sheriff down, so we had to stay there for a while. They had to take us out of here. This wasn't here, it was barracks then. But nothing become up, but I'll never forget it. Okay, now one trip we go to Atlanta from here to play a weekend series. The Ku Klux Klans had sent us all kind of telegram. If you come up here, Jackie, Campanella, we're gonna shoot you. Now, you know, this is a heck of a thing. You gotta worry about this, plus get out there and play. Now, Atlanta at that time was in the Southern Association. There was no National League team. So we played on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We couldn't stay with the team. We had to stay in some black hotel someplace. And we went to the ballpark, Ponce de Leon Field. They wouldn't even let the black people sit in the grandstands. They had to sit out in the outfield and in the bleachers. We had, Jackie and I think we had one of the best days we ever had. We got more base hits. Nothing ever happened. But one time I come to bat, you know, you can always find somebody in the ballpark. I don't care how many people is in. You can hear his voice over all of them. There could be 30,000. You can hear this one person. So one of these black fans was hollering. I come to bat. Campanella, show these white people you can hit one out to Stark Park. And it just looked like when he would holler, everything was quiet. And he would pick the right moment. And I swung and missed. He said the same thing on the second pitch. Campanella, show these white people you can hit one in the stand. Strike two. And I wind up striking out. You know what he hollered? Go sit down, you dago. You know, on our way north, we would always travel with the Braves. We would always travel with the Braves. So we went out to Fort Worth, Texas. That was one of our farm clubs. And there again, they had ground rules and black people were sitting all in the outfield. And when they would come in the ballpark, they'd give them a cushion. to sit on out there in the outfield. I did hit one over the fence. Boy, those black people were sailing cushions all over. Look, I felt ashamed when I went in the dugout. Look, they were sailing cushions. It took them a half an hour to pick up cushions. So I got in the dugout, and Leo said, don't feel bad. He said, you give them something to cheer about. But this is true. We used to pack the fans in, and they made all the black fans stand in the outfield. Then what an improvement it is today. They couldn't buy tickets to sit in the grandstand. But baseball is great. I'm telling you, it has improved quite a bit. Still got a long ways to go. But it's improved quite a bit. I think Mr. Rickey couldn't have picked a better group of guys with the help of Bavasi and maybe a few of Mr. O'Malley's dollars behind it. With Farillo and Snyder, Hodges, Reese, Pee Wee being our captain, Cox, we traded to get Cox. You know, it was 3 shortstops in that infield and a catcher. And we had the best defensive infield I never looked at. Hodges was a catcher. Jackie was a shortstop. Pee Wee was a shortstop. And Cox was a shortstop. But, boy, playing with these guys was great. Not only that, living with them and winning with them. This is the name of the game, Ernie. Winning. You know, you can have all the fun you want, but if you're not winning, buddy, it's not no fun. You can believe it. It's not no fun. You know, I always used to have a saying in our club, the same team won last night's gonna win tonight. Let's go. And I meant that. I meant that, and I went out there to have me some fun. And I walked up to home plate and I didn't get cheated. Look, it didn't have to be a strike. If it was close, we talked about hitting last night and I felt I could hit it. I was gonna hit it. You know, I'll never forget, we played the Phillies one night. Philadelphia's my hometown. And yes, all the people in my neighborhood come out to see the game. The Phillies had a pitcher, Jack Sanford. Could throw pretty hard, could throw hard. You know, he struck me out 4 times in a row. And I swore, I said, well, this will never happen to me again. On fastballs. I don't know how I could miss that many fastballs in one game. And then they give me the blues in my neighborhood. Oh, they got on me. How could you strike out that many times? I said, but I did. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. But he could throw. Look, when we would come to bat, the Dodgers used to find that every time we'd go in the tap, the best pitcher, they'd save him. I think Robin Roberts, he was very prejudiced. He wanted to pitch against the Dodgers every game they played. They wouldn't pitch those other Humpties against him. He had to pitch. And then, if somebody's starter was close again, he was coming in to relieve. You'd have been a $3 million pitcher today. He was something else. Robin was, I say in my opinion, one of the best pitchers I've ever looked at. And somebody was asking me about Satchel Paige last night. I was a young man, but he showed me something. To see a man throw this hard and have the kind of control he had. Although I was a young man, a real youngster, he could bring it. And you know, there was a team by the name of Pittsburgh Crawfords in the Negro National League. And in 1937, I was only 15, so you can count it up. In 1937, the president of Santo Domingo See that Trujillo, the city? Trujillo was his name. They named the city after him. He taken the whole team to Santo Domingo to represent him to play in that league. And Sancho was on that team. And Josh Gibson. Now there's another name. This was by far the greatest hitter I have ever seen. For power and just getting base hits. You can't recall it. You know, normally you see a power hitter, he swings and misses so much. Not Gibson. He was a big man, but smooth and easy. He didn't strike out. Could run a catcher. We would play our all-star game every year, the Negro American League against the Negro National League at Comiskey Park in Chicago. Now, in those days, Comiskey Park in center field, they had the cinder block green wall. I think they're putting stands in front of it now. But in those days, there was no stands. And they had the loud address speakers up on top of that wall. Gibson hit a ball one day that hit the top of those speakers on a fly. The umpires didn't know what to call it. Undoubtedly, they didn't have any ground rules for a ball hitting it. They never thought nobody ever hit a ball that far. So they wound up giving him a double. This was the longest double I have ever thrown. And this is true. But this man has hit so many home runs. It's a shame he never got an opportunity to play in the major leagues. But that goes for so many of the black players that played in the Negro National League and Negro American League. I'm telling you, but we did see the day, but it did come, that we did get in the league. I played in Mexico. I played just about every place that played baseball. I was down Mexico, playing in the Mexican League. That's when big league ball players was jumping the big league, going to Mexico to play. I said, well, these guys must be crazy. They're jumping the big leagues to come down here. Something must be wrong. All right, there was Mickey Owen, Max Lanier of the Cardinals, Danny Gardello from the Giants, Sal Magley of the Giants, Fred Martin. Look, it was quite a few. Louis Almo from the Dodgers. Well, Louis Almo was a Puerto Rican. So, and we used to play together in Puerto Rico. So I said, Louis, what did you leave the Dodgers for to come down here? And I make more money. So you must be kidding. I said, that's true. I said, you can't be making too damn much. Because we didn't draw but so many people. And playing on those skin bag diamonds. Tampico, a train run from right field right through the ballpark while you're playing. You gotta call time. And the train comes through the ballpark. God's honest truth, Tampico, Mexico. Never seen a ballpark like that. Let it in right field and it goes out left. And you're gonna jump the big leagues and go down there and play. Doesn't make sense, but this is the way baseball is looking for the dollar. But today, I think it's going out of sight. I mean, you can make $2 million a season to play this game, and just think, we used to play for fun, and get 50 cents a day to eat on. These guys get enough eating money today. That's a salary in itself. I think they get, what, about $60 a day to eat on? What could you be eating? And then half of them go buy hamburgers. Half of them was at McDonald's. And that's true, they're making all this money. They won't eat in the hotel, too expensive. But this is where it is, what the union, they won't stay two in a room. We was playing, we always had roommates. Now, the union can come up, only one man can sleep in a room. So that makes the team get an extra room for another man. So where everybody had roommates and twin beds in the room, you're not sleeping with one another. But the union comes up and you have to get, each man has to have one room. Okay, you're carrying 24 men, so you got to come up with 24 rooms there, where it used to be 12 would have taken care of it. And it just costing the team more expense. And look, when you played on percentage, as I used to have to play, and you didn't see somebody up in those stands, you wasn't going to make too much that day. But these fellas, they didn't care if nobody was in the stand. They were getting paid the first and 15th. You see so many teams getting sold today? Well, it's a reason. Look, if they can't make money running the team, you're not going to get it either. We started this pension plan way back, but for a pension, in 1946, 1947, they started the pension plan. The pension, it comes in pretty good. But you know, the present day player voted that the older player that retired from 70 on down, he wasn't to get the share like the player today when he gets pension age. Now that's tough. And we started that program. But it's something to live with. Look, baseball is a tremendous game. Tremendous game. You know, I have something else about Charlie Dressen. We were playing the Giants one night in Brooklyn. Charlie Dressen, although the manager, he always would coach third base. In the bottom of the ninth inning, Jim Hearn pitching for the Giants, and they were beating us 2-1. 2 outs, Jackie Robinson at bat. Jackie hits a ground ball to Alvin Dark, and he boots it. And Jackie gets on first. And I was following Jackie. So I walked up to home plate, and Dressen calls me. He's coaching third base. So I walked halfway down third, and he met me. He said, Campy, now you know Hearn's not going to throw you a fastball on the first pitch. He's going to throw you a curve. And if it's a strike, go ahead and hit it up in the seats. Let's go home. Do you know he threw me a curve? And it was right there. And buddy, I popped it and it went up in the seats. Just that quick, we won that game. So Dressen, when I was round third base, said, did not tell you. I said, yeah, Charlie, but I don't like to guess like that. Suppose you throw the fastball at my head there. That's where I'd have been, laying right there, looking for that curveball. I was never taught to look for no curveball. That's true. I always look for the fastball. Be a good fastball hitter. Take that away from the pitcher. You'll be all right. If you just take that away from the pitcher, you can adjust to those other pitches. Ernie knows that too. As much as he got knocked down. with that lineup they had. You know, the Dodgers used to go to Pittsburgh and Chicago. In those days, we had played 22 games against each of those teams. We'd lose 2. Between Pittsburgh and Chicago, we had a lot of fun. even one day, Preacher Rowe was pitching in Pittsburgh, and he hit a home run. He hardly ever got a base hit in his career. He hit a home run. And it taken him so long to round the bases, we had run up to home plate and laid towels from home plate all the way to the dugout for him to come to the dugout on. You should have seen that trot around the bases. But this is true. This is baseball. This is enjoyment. Going out there to win and to play with one another. I'm telling you, Mr. Rickey sure knew what he was doing, putting a group of guys together that he did in Brooklyn. We had some dandies. I mean, with the Farillo and the Snyder and the Hodges and the Reese. Boy, these guys was great. Not talking about any of our pitchers. You know, Mr. Rickey called me in his office one day after I was brought up, and he said, "You have to make all of these pitchers respect your judgment." Being the first black catcher in the major leagues. You know, if you think about it, just think about it now. This was some, you know, Mr. Rickey was a catcher. Honestly, I think he was 20, 25 years ahead of everybody. But this is the way he would think and talk to you. And looked like he had called me in the office every day to see him before a game. If I could catch like he could talk to me about catching, I would have been a dandy. But as I said before, I love the game. I love the Dodgers for what they done for me, and I think we had the greatest group of guys, but they weeded them out first. They weeded them out, whereas Duke, they looked like they brought up all these fellas together. Pee Wee was there. But all of us, the rest of the fellas were brought up from the farm system, except Cox. Pee Wee was there, as I said, but Jackie and Gil. Gil was a catcher, the third string catcher. Bruce Edwards was the first string catcher when I arrived, and Bobby Bragan. So Leo told me, he said, "You're going to catch." Told Edwards he's going to play third base. And said, "Hodges, you're going to play first base." So that moves Jackie from first base to second base. And they wind up trading Stanky to the Braves. And Pete Reeser was playing center field. They put Duke out there, and they traded Pete Reeser to the Braves also. But this was a great, the greatest group of guys to start integration in baseball. Well, it must have been good because every team in the National League and every team in the American League followed suit and did the same thing. But coming to Dodgertown in '48, I think this is the finest baseball training camp that anybody ever had. And I'm so proud that I was here initially when it first started. I'm just proud of it. And this is Negro History Month. That was Negro history. Thanks again. Good luck.
Excellent, Cappy. Okay, fellas, that's all for the night. We'll see you all tomorrow, ready to go. Good night. How do you feel, Ernie? Okay. Good.